My name's Shane Smith, and I've been involved with AMG for several months now. I actually started coming here doing individual counseling with Brian, and he invited me a couple of times to join AMG to come check it out, and I was a little bit hesitant at first, but after a couple months I figured I'd give it a shot, so I went to a couple meetings and liked it and just kept going from there. I was kind of hesitant to come to AMG at first. I just never really was one for, I thought it was like group psychology, maybe group settings, not that sort of thing. I've had counseling before, but it's always been on one-on-one. But after I'd gone a couple times and heard some of the stories from some of the other guys, and they could share stuff that they couldn't share with people they worked with, or even their wife or whatever at home. It was kind of easier for me to get into it and be able to share what I had to. I was homeless for a while back in my much younger days, and I became homeless through a number of actions, mostly my own. My home life wasn't the greatest. I had parents, but they weren't really there. So I rebelled any way I could, and just started hanging out with the wrong crowd, I guess you'd call it, and just got tired of the living under someone else's rules and someone else's roof. And I was homeless by choice, and I was also kicked out once or twice too. So, well, at the time I was homeless, I actually had friends I hung out with, so I had places to stay, and so I wasn't too worried about it at first. As it got on though in time, it was kind of pretty hard at times. At first it was a party because I was 18, 19, I had freedom, but eventually I realized that I was going to have to start fending for myself, and didn't have a safety net to fall back on. I felt I had pretty much unlimited freedom at first, but it got to the point where I was, I guess, in bondage to drugs, alcohol, and whatever else I could get my hands on, and it progressively got worse the longer I was homeless. I'd say probably the most difficult time being homeless, I can't really pin down a specific time. It just basically turned into a day-to-day existence. Usually my day would start with, a lot of times my breakfast would consist of warm beer. The town I was living in at the time in California was Temecula, I believe, and there was a river that ran near the edge of town. a pretty good sized one. It was a bit of walk from where my camp was, but it was pretty isolated, so I would usually go there at least a couple times a week and bathe. So if I needed money, I'd try to find odd jobs occasionally, or if I needed more money for drugs or something, we would try to find, if I was with my friends, we'd try to wait till the evening and try to find some place to break into. Or, well, when I first was homeless, my perspective was probably more skewed toward, hey, screw all these fools working 9-to-5 jobs and having to be a slave to the grind, and I can go where I want and do what I want. And then kind of as I got further into it, I'm just like thinking to myself, what am I doing? This is just a spin cycle going around and around and going further down and further down. So I'd go by restaurants or something and see people eating, real food and stuff like that. And in the back of my mind, I'd think to myself, what the hell am I doing? And then, of course, I'd go out and get my next fix to kill that thought and make it go away. Being homeless, most of society either looks down on you or looks away and ignores you. And definitely, at least in this state, coats are definitely a necessity, especially in the winter months. Homeless people do hold on to their coats. They hold on to their clothes because they never know when they're gonna get another shirt, get another pair of shoes. So a lot of them do hold on to their coats even though they're falling apart, because that is the only thing they have between them and, say, frostbite. AMG has helped me probably first by, I guess I built a wall over the years, not being able to talk to people about stuff. When I've had problems, I've kept it all inside, and the longer I've been coming and the more I get to know the guys here, it's helped me kind of, I guess, break down the walls and be able to share stuff that I wouldn't normally tell other people about. But back when I was homeless, I was extremely antisocial. Did not want a thing to do with anybody, and you could have not got information out of me with a crowbar, and I just did not. Like I said, homeless people are kind of an invisible part of society, and at the time I wanted it that way. And even when I wasn't homeless anymore, I was still that way for a number of years, and which led to a lot of failed relationships and stuff. And since I've come here, I've learned to kind of open up more, and I'm more able to talk to people and let them know how I feel and stuff like that.